Hey guys, it's Mather here once again with an update on the Flicker Strike, Voidforge, Door, Inquisitor, and Heavy Strike build. Now, in the end, it did take on old content and it took it all on rather smoothly. I did get to level 94, and I'm not gonna lie, by the end of it, I was kind of fucking sick of Flicker Strike. At least personally, I don't know how people can play this skill for extended durations of time. By the time I was level 94, I just wanted control of my character back. Heavy Strike, though, however, is pretty damn amazing. That, when fully scaled, especially with something like Voidforge, hits like an absolute truck. On the highest of high rolls, you're hitting for millions of damage, and the highlight reel at the second half of this video is pretty crazy. That said, you can see here the Flicker Strike situation in Delve, pretty annoying. Didn't do too much delving on this character. I ended up dying once in Delve, I think, and that was a really frustrating, where the fuck am I, why did this happen to me kind of death. But otherwise, I mean, you could definitely just play another skill with this type of setup. It doesn't have to be Flicker Strike, but the combo of Heavy Strike plus some sort of other clear skill seems to be a pretty solid one, I'd say. In this sort of a character, a Voidforge, which, as always, I've said, underrated, still very good, and comboed with an Inquisitor. In the current league, when everything has quite a lot of resists, Inquisitor seems to be a pretty good choice. And the budget did end up going pretty high with the Bottled Faith, for example. If you don't have one of those, essentially, to make up that loss of crit, you're going to need a bit more crit through a gem link with an increased crit strikes gem, which means you're down a link or so. So Bottled Faith does save you quite a lot in that department. It's not strictly necessary, but it is damn nice to have. And then as well as that, I crafted a lot of influence items with pretty basic items, but then influence slams. So Hunter Orb Slam, Crusader Orb Slam, Redeemer Orb Slam, that sort of thing. And then getting the right affix, like the Elusive, getting the Hunter Orb Crit. A lot of those things just ended up making the items kind of expensive, even if they're not the best items ever, but with the slams they do become like pretty nice items. You can have a look at all my gear and you can see that it's all pretty well rounded. It is all made by me, and all of it in total probably doesn't come close to the cost of the flask itself still, but it is some pretty finely tuned gear. And you'll notice if you have a look at my gear most recently, I did get additional strike gloves. So likewise, I got a pair of gloves that were pretty good for my character, had a spare prefix, put a Hunter Exalted Orb into it, and with that I got additional strike. I had never tried out additional strike gloves before, or the anointment of Tribal Fury. I just wanted to try it out to see if it made my character feel quite a lot nicer, and played around with different links for the Flicker Strike itself. So I dropped Ancestral Call and kept Melee Splash, and overall sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. I wouldn't say the additional strike is a pure upgrade in any sense, because at times it gives you an additional strike, and that's all the time it gives you an additional strike, but at times it would clear packs that just prevented you from chaining to a next pack, because you'd come in and one-shot the pack immediately and it'd be on like your first hit, so you're nowhere near the outer edge of the pack. Whereas when you hit it with a few strikes with your regular attack, it will leave you at the outer edge of a pack and maybe you'll chain to the next pack. So overall, when the packs aren't too thick, it did feel kind of bad sometimes, and you definitely couldn't chain from pack to pack too frequently, and it kind of lowered your clear speed. When you had really thick, large amounts of packs with maybe some Beyond or Sextanted up, then it felt a little better, and overall it was barely noticeable for Heavy Strike for an additional strike single target. So I'd say that the additional strike by no means is necessary, and I'd encourage you to play around with your own Flicker Strike links to see if you like Ancestral Call, or if you like the additional strike or Melee Splash or whatever it is. But long story short, Voidforge is pretty good. I think you can do Flicker Strike with just about anything, with the Frenzy generation coming entirely from Blood Rage, and then Flicker Strike itself. As long as you're hitting hard enough, it should be good enough. And then Heavy Strike itself is pretty damn beastly when stacked up rather well through the jewels and other damage sources. So with that, I will leave you with a Legion 5-way, probably one of the better Legion 5-ways I've ever done, but still not absolutely perfect. Flicker Strike does have a mind of its own. Thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed the character, and see you next time.
A good omen! Sheo, your death will not be. Do not howl. A good omen!
Yeah, Flicker's a bit uncontrollable in this setting. I don't know how good it is, to be honest. Damage on bosses is okay. But yeah, we have a real lack of control of our, like, direction. It's like nothing, 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 dead. Okay, I was gonna attack the other boss, but sure. We'll do this guy first.
Only the sun can bring about the dawn, but we will.
Oh, that was a chonker right there. Oh, that was a chonker as well. No! Wrong way, goddammit.
Rejoice! This is your day of judgment! You cannot destroy that which is eternal.
Boss isn't reset over here, was it?
Only the sun. But we
Oh, that was a fucking hit!
time has come, Mayakara, to push the lumber.
See that actual, almost legit one tap.
Your sacrifice is not without value.
My god. It's crazy just the variation in damage. Like, the high rolls are so fucking high. But then most hits are just kind of normal, you know? God damn it, I just wasted some fucking cooldowns on this dude. There we go.
A good omen. I am sorry, Sheo.
Not yet.
The hyenas do not howl.
Oh god, where did that come from?
Traitors!
It freezes us so good too. Yeah, by the looks of it, we'll struggle to get 3 bars though, if I keep trying to kill bosses and stuff. Flicker's just too hard to control, basically. He doesn't give a fuck what I want. If I wasted less time on bosses and just did more resets, yeah, it'd be fine. I'm all about the bosses.
To push the lumberers back beneath your feet. Not feel pain. The hyenas do not howl. A good omen.
Turncoat, time to pay for your crime.
That's entirely the fun part.
Nice! The Queen has deemed you worthy of sacrifice.
Two, 3, 7, 18, 20? The fuck did I get? A glorious vanity, a brutal restraint, a militant faith, a Asenath's gloves. Yo, Asenath's gloves worth shit right now? We care about him, right? Billions of exalts! 2.3, 2.4. Yeah, that's pretty nice. What's a brutal restraint cost? Minimum 35. And militant faiths have to be good. Glorious vanities, I think, are basically nothing. Unless I'm wrong. Yeah, similar. Overall, thanks to the gloves, I may have come close to breaking even in the end. It takes a fair bit to get your currency back. Got to pledge your hands too.